In 1889, in the town of Rissani in southern Morocco, a baby was born to the distinguished Abuhatzeira family. His father, Rabbi Yisrael Abuhatzeira, was the son of the famous tzadik Rabbi Yaakov Abuhatzeira, known as the Abir Yaakov. Even at his birth, the elders predicted that this baby, named Yisrael, would inspire the world. The family lived in a modest house in Rissani, a city that was an important Torah center in Morocco. It is said that even in his childhood, when people asked his father why he treated the young boy with such respect, he replied, "You do not know who he is. You will see his greatness." Even at a very young age, young Yisrael showed signs of special holiness. While children his age played outside, he would sit for long hours in the Beit Midrash, immersed in the study of Torah. It is told that by the age of 8 he already knew the entire Tanakh by heart, and at 9 he began studying Kabbalah. His practices were extraordinary. He would fast for 6 days a week, from the end of Shabbat until the beginning of the next Shabbat. In the cold winter days, he would break the ice with his hands to immerse himself in the mikveh. His dedication to Torah study was extraordinary. He would study in complete silence for 20 hours a day. He would only pause for prayers and a little sleep. Upon reaching the age of bar mitzvah, his father arranged for him to marry Rahma, his niece. The first marriage ended in tragedy when Rahma passed away during childbirth along with the baby girl. At the age of 16, he married his second wife, Freha, from the Amsalem family, who was a righteous woman and stood by his side for many years. When he was only 18, after his father's passing, and under the instruction of his older brother Rabbi David, he was appointed as the head of the yeshiva in Rissani. His students testified that despite his young age, his lessons were deep and intriguing, combining the revealed and the hidden Torah. He would begin each lesson with words of ethics and fear of heaven, and only then would he move on to studying the topic. In 1919, an event occurred that shook his life. In the midst of the tribal war against the French conquerors, his older brother Rabbi David was brutally murdered. It was on the Holy Shabbat when a local leader accused the Abuhatzeira family of collaborating with the French and ordered Rabbi David to be executed by cannon fire. This tragedy forced Baba Sali and his brother Rabbi Yitzchak to flee to the town of Boudinib. There, they re-established the yeshiva, and Baba Sali was appointed as the rabbi of the entire Tafilalt region. Despite the immense pain, he continued to lead the community with courage and kindness. In 1922, a new chapter in his life began when he first immigrated to the land of Israel. In Jerusalem, he studied at the Beit El Kabbalists Yeshiva. There, he deepened his knowledge in the mystical teachings, and it is said that the great Kabbalists of the yeshiva were impressed by the depth of his knowledge and his holiness. However, after a short period, under the instruction of his teacher Rabbi Moshe Turgeman, he returned to Morocco. In 1933, he returned to the land of Israel and lived in the Old City at the home of Rabbi Yosef Shlush. During that time, he studied with the Gaon, Rabbi Ezra Atiyah, at the Porat Yosef Yeshiva. Again, under his teacher's instruction, he was forced to return to Morocco. Upon his return, he married Miriam Amsalem. After becoming widowed from his wife Miriam, Rabbi Yisrael, at the age of 65, married Rebbetzin Simi, who is still living today in Netivot and is known as Lela Simi. They have a daughter together named Esther. The miraculous stories associated with Baba Sali's name are countless. Patients who recovered from his blessings, and great salvations that came as a result of his blessings. One of the famous stories is about a woman who came to him in tears and said that her son was critically ill. Baba Sali asked for a glass of water, blessed it, and told them to give it to her son to drink. A few days later, the child completely recovered. Another amazing story tells of a couple who were childless for many years. When they came to ask for the blessing of the tzadik, Baba Sali blessed them and said, "With God's help, next year you will hold a baby." Exactly a year later, they had a son, and they named him Yisrael after him. In 1964, he finally immigrated to the land of Israel and initially settled in Yavne and later in Ashkelon. In 1970, he moved to Netivot, where he settled until his last day. His modest home became a pilgrimage site. Thousands came from all over the country and the world to seek his blessing. He welcomed everyone with a warm smile, despite his increasing frailty. Baba Sali was known for his exceptional modesty and dignity. His home was open to everyone. He never kept money for himself, and everything he received, he gave to charity. In his later years, his health deteriorated, and he had to break his vow not to eat meat. Despite his frailty, he continued to receive visitors and bless those who came to him. On Shabbat evening, in the year 1984, he returned his soul to his Creator. His massive funeral, attended by over 100,000 people, testified to the immense love the people of Israel had for him. Baba Sali, Rabbi Yisrael Abuhatzeira, was the epitome of pure faith, true humility, and boundless love for the Jewish people.